Morning guys, welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on Tuesday the 17th of January 2017 and not bad morning. To be honest, I've been editing all morning. We've been doing technically the last part for this guy and going through the motions of it and everything else like that. And it was one of those things where it's going to be around about 45 minutes for the last one if I edited it quite closely, or we could just let it go and without any sort of cuts and edits and everything else. And it turns out it's about an hour, so cut them in half. We have two parts. So what I'm going to do is I've re-edited both parts so they're both situated, because it was just that thing where I was trimming corners off to make it all fit, and I think we were losing information, especially the deckling, because you probably saw in the vlog last week I cracked the decals, so I had to jigsaw them all back together. So instead of like sort of cutting and editing and everything else like that, I thought I'd show it. It would just be a lot better and everything else, and with the weather in and the bits and pieces afterwards and putting it together. So what I've done is I've re-edited part 7, which is what's going to be up with you today, into its full form, if you like, with no edits or sped up bits and all the rest of it. And then part 8 will be up with you probably Thursday. I'm thinking might have a gap tomorrow, but Thursday that'll be up with you. So that still gives you half an hour things as we make a run along with it. And then on Friday, hopefully this will be up with you as we make our way through, because that one will be done and out the way and everything else like that. Speaking of which, my spray booth, which this is one of those things, yesterday I thought, right, okay, yesterday afternoon, we're going to get this done, we're going to get it finished. So what it was, I bought some of these to put together, and then I've MacGyvered 2 into 1, which is still wet, amazingly stuff. Okay, so what I actually did was I took 2 of these and I cut them, and I've molded them into one using the old hot glue gun techniques and a bit of duct tape to make one, which was going really, really well. And I thought, right, and we've got our back flap system and all the rest of it. Until I took the old one all completely apart. I can show you my MacGyver job. This is what I've MacGyvered before, just to make it that same type of thing. Until I realised that actually it's the wrong size, isn't it? I've managed to order the wrong bit, because this is the size of our ducting that I was using over there, and this is the size of our tube. So consequently, no, it's not. So anyway, I've ordered the new ones. They'll be here tomorrow, and I'll make another one, which is a quick, simple job. It's say cut it off the bit, 2 bits, hot glue gun all the way around, sandwich it together, duct tape it, and we are good to go. So no problem. Might use a bit of 5-minute epoxy on there as well to take care of it. So in the meantime, what I've done is I've just put the tube onto one of these at the moment, and we're just going to use number 1 spray booth for doing this guy, because today what I'm going to do is going to give this the metal finish. Probably I'll be able to get the invasion stripes on it and everything else like that, and then the deckling, the bits and pieces. I won't need to show you technically decklings, we've covered it 100 times before, but just to show you generally about using the metallizer finish, metallizer paints. Again, I know a lot of you have sent me little PMs and messages saying love to see the MRP stuff, have a go at it. So I think that's what we're going to do, because we haven't done a proper metal finish like this. Obviously we did the Gundam in it, but you've seen me use the AK stuff before, you've seen me use the Vallejo stuff before, but on a metal finish you haven't actually seen me do this. So the only thing is I'm a bit limited on the colours I've got. I've actually got white aluminium, I've got dural aluminium, I've got steel, I've got a couple of the other colours, but I haven't got them all. So I might have to sort of again have a bit of a fiddle round and see what colours I can make out of it and everything else like that. But thank you for the gloss black comments. I know loads of you saying beautiful but gloss black. Trust me, Tamiya X1 gloss black is just so easy to use. 50-50 mix, self-leveling thinners, air pressure quite low, probably around about 10 to 12 psi. Wet coat, when you put it down, first one quite dusty right the way over it, second one you go in nice and wet, so when you're putting it on you can physically see it looks wet. None of this dry business like you do with the flat coat, because otherwise you're going to end up with texture and you get roughness and all the rest of it, but it does give you a perfectly nice finish. If you do get the thing where it starts to separate and pull apart, get the hairdryer on it, heat up the paint a little bit, second coat on, it'll stick and you won't have any problems with it. So generally that is the thing to that one. But thank you for all the kind comments. I know that a lot of people have said about, you know, it's technically a kit and it's modelers. Forget that bit at all. We know it's a model kit. Let's face it, Airfix are just about to dump another Mustang, because let's face it, obviously we need one out there. There's loads of Mustangs out there. We weren't looking at this as a sort of model kit. At the end of the day, we were actually looking at this more as in, okay, is it like we were saying, you know, cement-free construction? Well, clearly it's not. That was what the question was always going to be. Is it a cement-free construction? Well, no way, not even anywhere close. But it's still a really nice kit. So we've now dismissed the thing about cement free. We're just treating this as if it is a normal model kit. And to be honest, it's a really nice one. Some nice details in there. I like the way it goes together. It is simple construction, but you definitely just forget the cement free. Just get rid of that because it clearly doesn't work. Anyway, let's clear some space. Let's get some paint on it. Okay then guys, so welcome back. To be honest, today I've done loads of editing, as you know, so you can catch up right now with part 7 of the Meteor build that is up on the site right now. But also I've been doing this. Now a couple of people asked questions about with the metallizers, you know, what are the MRP ones like and all the rest of it. Did them on the Gundam, but it wasn't really a fair trial at it, I don't think. So I've used them in here. They're not perfect because the colours are a little bit vague. They sort of blend in. It's almost like everything's a silvery colour, and then, you know, you can call it what you like, white aluminium, dark aluminium, dural aluminium, but really the shades are very, very close together. Like if you wanted a dark aluminium, don't use dark aluminium because I couldn't even see the difference between that and silver. It's very, very close. So from that point of view, it needs a little bit of work on here, but we have done this. Okay, so I've taken the real easy route and I've shown you the really easy route of actually painting this. We've still got a bit to go because I've still got to put the black ones each side of the belly underneath here. Got to do the ones on the top and everything else like that, which I'm going to do in a moment. But generally, I have to say, this is coming along an absolute treat. Really, really nice. And actually now I've sort of fallen in love with the kit. I know we were saying about doing big brash builds and everything else, but I'm going to be doing these things in the future all the time. Just little things for me, for the mojo and everything else like that, because I really enjoy doing this type of painting. The complex stuff, putting invasion stripes on like that, just getting it right and everything else, I actually really do enjoy it. Have to say though, this metallizer paint, the MRP stuff, which is what we're using, hard as nails. We do say it about when you're actually just using the normal colours when we used it on the flanker and stuff like that. This paint is really hard as nails, and I've masked over this, and I've now even given up trying to take the tack off the back of my hands and all the rest of it. Just whack it down because it absolutely works, and it is as good, if not better, in my opinion, an Alclad. Certainly sprays easier than an Alclad. Just, I say, the colours aren't exactly brilliant. I would prefer to have decisive colour differences between it. For instance, I don't know how well you can see on the top here, this gun cover, I repainted it about 8 times, purely because we were trying to find a dark colour. That's about as dark as it goes, unless you're going to start adding different things in there. So I did think about putting a little bit of burnt iron in there, things like that, darker colours to try and do it. But like the one running down the side of the manifold and all the rest of it down on here, I don't know if you can see, it's a different hue, but it's not a different colour. So that is my only sort of problem with these. Is that we have got names like, you know, white aluminium, we've got titanium, we've got silver, and we've got the dural aluminium, and we've got steel. Okay, but I've used all of those colours on here and you really can't tell the difference. So that's what I mean, the colours are all extremely close. I ended up spraying the entire thing in silver, and then we've gone around really with steel, because when you look in the bottle it looks a very dark colour, but when you're using it you don't get much of the difference in there. Anyway, I'm enjoying myself with this one. I'm going to carry on spraying this one today, get it painted up, probably get it deckled up as well and everything else like that. We'll call it another one-day part of the build and everything else, and then we'll come back afterwards to get it sort of fully deckled and weathered and final reveal for it and everything else like that. But as I said, really am enjoying it. It's a lovely little kit, really. Now it's glued and everything else. You think we haven't used any filler on it, but I don't think really you'd need any. It's that good, and it lends itself beautifully for this type of work, for nice, speedy, no hassle build and everything else like that. So hats off to Meng. No, it's definitely not glue free, I'm stood by that, but it is actually a really nice kit. Apart from, I know I've had loads of people who say, yeah, it's got riveting on the wings, it shouldn't have it. Yeah, but it does look nice, doesn't it? Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Catch you all tomorrow. And as I say, part 7 of the Meteor is up for members to watch now. This next part of this, probably going to be next week by the time I get around to editing it and all the rest of it. The final part of the Meteor, part 8, will be up with you on Thursday. And I've got a couple of reviews for you before the end of the week as well. So, catch you all later. Happy modelling.